you YouTube and Snapchat and fuckers. Welcome back to another installment of the Friday Wrap-Up. Actually, scratch that. This is the 2020 Wrap-Up. This is actually the last wrap-up of the year. Could you believe that shit? The year goes by quick, kids. So, we had a big week. We had an even bigger year. So like I said, this is the last show of 2020. Good riddance. Yeah, it's been a fun ride, kids. So before we get started, I'd like to tip my hat to today's libation. I'm drinking a little Kentucky champagne, some Maker's Mark. And I'm drinking it out of one of my favorite Christmas presents this year, the official Friday Wrap-Up Cup. Okay? This was a Christmas present from some good friends of mine, so thank you, Teresa and Eddie. So before we get started, salud, just drink up and be somebody. I know what you're thinking. Holy shit, he's got a 30-ounce cup filled with bourbon. No, it's maybe like half full. Okay, if I drank that much bourbon in one show, this would be a completely different fucking show. It'd be totally off the fucking wall. God only knows what would come out of my mouth. God only knows what comes out of my mouth sober. Could you imagine me drunk? That would be a fucking trip, huh? Maybe one day I'll do one of those. Maybe like the last show, period, but not today. So, it's 2020. The tail end. In a few hours, we'll be kissing this year goodbye and saying hello to 2021. Like I said before, good fucking riddance. You know what would be great? If they wrapped nostrils and Muppet hands up in lights and threw these two fuckers off the top of the Marriott Marquis in Times Square instead of dropping the ball. Okay, that would be something worth tuning into. Now you can't go to Times Square to watch the ball drop. Okay, they've got it closed off. If you even show up, I think they're going to lock you up. Not that you'd really want to. There's homeless people ejaculating and peeing on each other. It's not really much to say. But, so, watch it on TV. I think Jennifer Lopez is going to sing a couple of songs. Really, all J-Lo really has to do is just show up. She doesn't even have to sing. Just turn around 2-3 times, walk off the stage. They drop the ball. We could be in and out of this in like 15, 20 minutes. But, we'll see what happens. So, I got to stop doing that because my hand still hurts. The Corona update. So, Governor Nostrils has rolled out his plan for vaccine distribution, finally. So here it is, kids. I know you've been waiting for it. So after the first responders get their inoculations, okay, he feels that the next step should be drug addicts in rehab centers, prisoners, and residents of nursing homes. In that exact order, actually, okay? Let me back that up again in case you missed it the first time. He feels that drug addicts in a rehab center should be the first one to get the fucking needle, and then prisoners, and then the residents in a nursing home. Now, I understand the residents in the nursing home. My opinion, they're all 100. They're all high risk because they sneeze, they could die. But putting prisoners and drug addicts in rehab centers above that. I don't understand what's wrong with this fucking guy's brain, okay? Why not let people who are not in a contained environment, because you can keep them in there. They don't have to be released right away. Let the people that are wandering around, that are still working and doing things, get the fucking vaccinations first, right? That would make sense. But we don't live in a state that makes sense. So there you go. He also said, because this is a controversial plan. There was a lot of pushback on it. Everybody's scratching their fucking head going, did this asshole completely lose whatever fucking grain of sense that he had? So, medical practitioners pushed back on it. So he comes back around and says, any medical practitioners, that could be doctors, nurses, pharmacists, that deviate from his plan, he will revoke their license to practice medicine. So if a doctor at their discretion feels that somebody who is not a prisoner or a junkie or a fucking resident of a nursing home should be inoculated, they're in jeopardy of losing their license to practice medicine. And then he turns around and says, he's not politicizing the vaccine. Listen, I'm just a simple fucking Goomba from Brooklyn, but to me, that sounds a little fucking political. You know what I mean? So that's Governor Nostrils got to end the year on a fucking high note. The new strain of the Wu flu, that's what I'm calling it now. You know, it originated in Wuhan, Wu flu, because when you say China virus, people go, oh my God, that's racist. So now it's the Wu flu. All right, I think it's cute. It's nice. T-shirts made up. So the new strain of the Wu flu that's plaguing London, that mutated version that's supposedly deadlier, and allegedly they're saying it's possibly, I should say, possibly resistant to the vaccination. They haven't really tested it, but with regard to the mutation of the strain and so on, they're saying it could be resistant to the vaccine. Has now finally made it to the States. So there's a big fucking shock for us. A National Guardsman in Colorado, who hasn't fucking left Colorado, mind. This guy never got on a plane, never went to fucking London. He hasn't left Denver, okay? Apparently he got it. How the fuck he got it, we don't know. So he apparently has this new mutated strain of the coronavirus, so they have him in isolation, thinking that that's going to stop it. Well, if it made it from London to Colorado, my guess is it's probably floating around in a few other spots too. So here we go again, kids. Here we go, loop-de-loo. Okay, we come up with a vaccine, the fucking thing mutates. That's just marvelous. I mean, that's a good way to end 2020 on a high note. So, aside from that, that's your corona update. Nothing new in the world of the Wu flu. But one last trip this year. Get those tickets out. Get ready to get them punched. All aboard! Woo, woo! Crazy Train's about to leave the station. And here we go. First stop, New York City. Get this shit. I fucking love this. Okay? The New York City Restaurant Association, along with many restaurant owners in the city of New York, have permanently banned Governor Cuomo from eating in their restaurants. I mean, provided they fucking stay in business, that is, So imagine, I love that. I fucking love that. So this fucking big nostril fuck is got to wander around New York City looking for something to eat. They ain't serving him. Okay? It's supposedly a lifetime ban. Couldn't have happened to a nicer jerk-off. Next stop, Boston. Okay, Beantown. So, I was hoping something dumb would happen before the end of the year. And somebody up there must like me when it comes to this shit, because it did. So they removed the statue of President Abraham Lincoln. It's a statue that they have that celebrates the Emancipation Proclamation. So they took the statue down because it's considered to be, wait for it, racist. You get that? The guy who wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, who spearheaded the Civil War to end slavery and free an entire race of people, is now considered to be a racist. How? They don't say. They took the statue down, they said it was racist. Okay? And it's a shame that our kids don't go to school anymore, because they'd be able to learn how Abraham Lincoln wasn't actually a racist, in their next history class. But since, everybody, skips school, everybody's truant, they're never going to know. So it's going to be a big fucking secret. So yeah, there you go. 2 stops, it's a quick train ride. So now on to your sports update. So, the Jets fired their head coach, Adam Gase, or Goss, or however the fuck you say his name, that cockeyed bastard, okay? They fired him. Well, knock me over with a feather. There's a fucking surprise, right? Okay, let's talk about their season. Like, the guy's surprised that he got fired. He always looks surprised, as you can tell, but, so let's just talk about their season for a second. So they lost 13 in a row, right? Their worst season yet. But, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Granted, not a bright one, but there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Because they had such a shitty fucking year, especially if they lost all their games, they'd have a shot at the first round draft pick next year. Okay? Which, if there's a team that needs it, it's the fucking Jets, believe me. But the Jets, being the Jets, slammed that door shut by going on a 2 fucking game winning streak. Okay? So they lose 13 goddamn games. And then the last 2 games of the season, they just say, oh, it's Windows. So they completely shut themselves out of any chance of a first-round pick. Okay? Now they're just going to get stuck with the mongoloid in the back of the room who's picking his nose. Why the fuck anyone would want to be a Jets fan anymore is way beyond me. I don't get it. I mean, I don't hate the Jets. I've said it before. But I almost feel bad for you guys. It's beyond the fucking abusive relationship at this point. If you're still a Jets fan, I don't know. You might need to go get your head checked. Okay, you need a checkup from the neck up because I don't. There's some kind of mental irregularity happening inside of your skull that you keep saying, well, maybe next year they're going to be better. We said that last year, and look what happened this year. The whole fucking team should be disbanded. I don't understand how they're still a fucking football team. Truthfully, I really don't. I mean, look. It ain't that much easier being a Giants fan, okay? I've had my share of heartaches with the fucking Giants, but at least I could say, at least it's something, that they were in first place in their piece of shit division for like, I don't know, a half hour, okay? That'll at least tie me over till next season, okay? But, oh my God, if you're a Jets fan, I feel bad for you. Speaking of the Giants... they'd have to beat Dallas this weekend. And Washington simultaneously would have to lose in order for them to even be able to say the fucking word playoff. Okay, so here's my prediction. No shot. Okay, it's over, Johnny. Hang the fucking jerseys up. Pray for next year. You got no shot. None. None at all. Okay? It's done. Done and done. Speaking of playoffs, the Buffalo Bills. Okay? And I said this in the beginning of the season that they were looking good, and I was hoping that this day wouldn't come. Hoping. And not because I hate Buffalo. Okay? Because that's really, truthfully, the Buffalo Bills are probably the most authentic New York football team because they actually play in New York. But the Bills will be playing in a playoff game at their stadium in Buffalo. And our illustrious Governor Nostrils has allowed them to have 6,700 fans in attendance. And then this fuckstick proceeds to say how this is going to be a path to allow fans to attend future games in New York, hockey, baseball, whatever. This motherfucker is so fucking full of shit that his eyes are brown, okay? You know why he's allowing 6,700 fans to attend a Bills game? Because he's a fucking Buffalo Bills fan, okay? He's only doing this so that he could go himself. On the taxpayer's arm, by the way, okay? You know, most of us are all out of work. We can't afford to even think of football tickets. This cunt is going to get it for free. All right. So he's only allowing the other 6,699 fans to go so that he doesn't look like that dick in fucking California Newsom. Because if he's the only jerk off sitting in the fucking stands, that's going to be a news story, right? So he figures, I'll let like 6,600 fans go and I'll pop in on the back end and, yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, I'll watch the numbers. So, you know, I hope he gets hypothermia and dies in the fucking third quarter. Now on to basketball. So basketball season started. You know, basketball's a torturous season. I like 3 teams. I always did. I'm a nostalgic fan of the Chicago Bulls. When I say nostalgic, I was a huge fan of the Bulls back in the day when they were actually a basketball team, when you had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and Horace Grant and all those guys. This team will never be that ever again. So I pay attention to them sort of because of the nostalgia of it, but they suck. They've rolled out of the season already, you know, fucking terrible. The Knicks, well, the Knicks is still the Knicks, you know. That's an abusive relationship too. I mean, I have friends that are telling me, oh, they're going to do good. No, they're not. The Knicks are always going to be the Knicks. And unless the fucking Dolans release that team, like with the Rangers, I don't have any high hopes for them. But the Brooklyn Nets are actually looking pretty fucking good. That's my hometown team. You know, you can't hate the guys from Brooklyn. Now, as long as Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant stay healthy, which is a big if because both of these two they're both Marys, okay? If they stay healthy, they may have a shot, probably second round of the playoffs, I'm going to guess. I mean, it could be more, but I don't want to get my hopes up. But I definitely think they're going to be playing in the postseason. I mean, they did last year without Durant. But I think this year they got a pretty good shot to go deep into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make a championship. And if they did, they'd have to go up against that crybaby bitch LeBron, which I don't think they got the talent to stuff this guy. But you know, I think they're going to go deep. So I'm as long as they don't start putting all that political crap on their fucking jerseys, I'll be happy to sit here and watch the season and see where that goes. So, there's your sports update. Hockey season, like I said, can't come soon enough. I think second week of January, I heard. I could be wrong about that, but we'll see. So, you know me. There's all those little observations about the world that I tend to make. And I haven't picked on fucking Dunkin' Donuts in a while. So being that this is the last show of the year, I figure, what the hell, you know? I mean, there's one or two particular Dunkin' Donuts that I go to. The one that's closest to me is the one I frequent. And I have a couple of trained people that they know my face and they right away get my order together. But every so often I come across these fucking rookies that don't know what fucking day of the week it is. And it's like, it's an Olympic event to get them to make a simple fucking cup of coffee the correct fucking way. Okay? It's difficult enough to get them to do it right when there is no pandemic. Now, with the fucking wolf flu and all the precautions that we all take, you know, with the plexiglass and this and that and the masks, it makes it goddamn near impossible. So this one particular Dunkin' Donuts has like this fucking 2-inch piece of plexiglass just hanging from the fucking wall. Like someone's going to come in there and start shooting any minute, which I'm not going to lie, the thought has crossed my mind 7,000 or 8,000 times. So it's so fucking thick they can't hear you too good. And then you put the mask over your face because they're trying to read your lips. They can't fucking hear a goddamn thing. Yeah, you tell again, my order is very simple. You guys probably know it by heart already. You know, hot, cream, no sugar. Like I love when they ask you, it's fucking snowing outside. You want hot coffee? No. I want iced coffee so my insides can match my outsides. So when I go ice skating and fall down, I shatter into a million fucking pieces, you jerk off fuck. Okay? No. So it's always simple. And when I say no sugar, like something fucking triggers in the head. Sugar? No, I don't. No, I'm sweet enough. I don't need your fucking sugar, you son of a bitch. So, you know, I mean, like I said, between the glass and then the fucking masks and the fact that they just learned English 22 minutes before they started working, it's goddamn impossible. So like I get fucking nuts. I pull my mask down and go, watch my face. No sugar. And they freak out. Oh, you must put your mask back on. You're going to corona all over the... One of these days you're going to see me on the fucking news for strangling one of these son of a bitches. You know, and I've been told by some people that my approach to these imbeciles is a little harsh. You know, and again, I take the position, it's a very simple one, okay? This is not a complicated job. Putting coffee into a fucking cup, it doesn't require an MBA, okay? All you have to do is listen. Even if you have a rudimentary understanding of the fucking English language, you just need to know a few fucking words. Coffee, milk, cream, sugar, and no. That's it. And yet, they can't seem to get that right. And you would think that would be some kind of a employment test that they should take before they get the job. But no. So that's what really, like, fucking triggers me. So, like, I've been told, you're too harsh. You know, sometimes I go to Starbucks. And then, you know, if they get my coffee wrong, I don't get upset. I just go in there and I tell them and they remake it. Well, first of all, you can't compare a Starbucks order to a fucking Dunkin' Donuts order. They're two completely different fucking things. Your Starbucks order is a 9-step cup of coffee that has very little fucking coffee in it to begin with. So how do you even know if they get it wrong? Okay, they could stir that coffee with their dick. You wouldn't fucking know. First, look at the people who work at Starbucks. They're like fucking zombies. Okay? I mean, they're retarded. They're just... The barista is one hot foam away from biting people in the face like a rabid squirrel. Okay? So, the product is designed to be wrong. You really want to give it a fair test? You want to have some fun? Go into a fucking Starbucks and just order a regular cup of coffee. And then, just to sweeten the deal, try paying for it with cash. Oh my God, they start to fucking malfunction. They're pinching their nipples, they're punching themselves in the taint. They don't know what the fuck to do. You ask them for a regular cup of coffee, they just go, it's like a retard on cocaine. So, you know... I don't feel that me losing my fucking mind when someone fucks up a simple cup of coffee is harsh. Okay, that's how you learn. I'm helping. I'm actually providing a service to a public service, if you will. So at least the next person that steps up and orders a cup of coffee doesn't have to go through that strenuous form of aggravation that I have to go through. My other pet peeve is people who go into fucking Dunkin' Donuts and think it's Starbucks. They start customizing their fucking coffee order. And it's always right before me, and it fucks up the guy that I have to talk to now when I order a simple cup of coffee. He's all freaked the fuck out. Okay? Or these idiots that order donuts and can't count. They can't count. Okay? Like there was a lady in Dunkin' Donuts, she's ordering a fucking dozen donuts, and she's making up shit. Whatever they got, that's what they have. Okay? It's not hard. You look at the rack, there's the donuts, you pick. You got to count to 12. She's got a half a dozen donuts in there. She's like, how many do I have left? He goes, oh, you have 6 donuts. She goes, so how many more do I need? I'm like, are you, again, fucking 6. Okay? I can't. So it's a miracle that I made it through another year without violently stabbing someone in the face when going to Dunkin' Donuts. So I figured I'd share that with you. See, it's a breakthrough. See, I'm not that harsh. You know, I'm focusing on the positive. So, you know, that's your Dunkin' Donuts update. Oh, I like this cup. Keeps my bourbon cold. All right, so, like I said, today's New Year's Eve. Okay? And, you know, New Year's... It's a funny time of year, you know. People usually are very reflective. They have these New Year's resolutions. I didn't really hear any New Year resolutions, okay? Like, what's going to be your New Year's resolution for this? Not to get the fucking Wu flu in 2021? Instead, what I've been seeing a lot is that the new message for 2021 is hope. Okay, people are laboring under this fucking delusion that getting rid of that 2021 is going to be this magical time where all of this shit that happened in 2020 is just going to go poof. It's magically going to disappear at the fucking stroke of midnight. You've been reading too many fucking Cinderella stories. Okay, it ain't going to happen. Okay, it ain't going to happen. I get it. You know. People hope that, you know, getting rid of 2021 because it was a shitty year. Yay, it's going to be 2021. Yay. Stop it. Okay? 2021 is just going to be 2020 2.0. All of this shit is not magically fucking vanishing at midnight. It's going to still be there tomorrow morning. You're still going to have to wake up, put a fucking mask on. You got to stay 6 feet away from everyone. The restaurants in New York City are going to be closed. Nothing's going to fucking change. It's just a new calendar. That's it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, here he goes. It's being negative. Oh my God, it's being negative. Actually, I'm not. I could sit here and recap all of the terrible things that 2020 brought. Now, I'm going to put a positive spin on this. I know. You're thinking, how the fuck is he going to do that? Watch, it's magic, okay? So I can sit here and go, okay, this happened in 2020, and we got this, and this happened. But you already know this shit. You've been there. Unless you've been sleeping under a fucking rock for the last 11 months, you know 2020 wasn't exactly the best fucking year, okay? But Uncle Tommy's here to tell you about all the pluses that 2020 brought. Yeah, there were pluses. See, again, you think I'm negative. I'm a glasses half full kind of guy. All right? Or actually, I'm a kind of guy that says the glass ain't full enough. Fill it up a little more. We learned a lot in the last 11 months. We learned that people are fundamentally fucking stupid. We learned that they have absolutely no idea what they're doing in an election. Not just this election, past elections, because, they voted in de Blasio and Cuomo, right? They didn't just magically fucking appear, okay? But speaking of which, we've also learned that Italians cannot be politicians. Now, this from, the chief guinea in charge, right? Nobody loves Italian people more than me, and I'm going to tell you something, we could do a lot of things great, okay? But our strengths do not lie in politics, unless it's street politics, where we bust you over the head with a fucking hammer or something, okay? You show me an Italian politician, I'm going to show you a fucking moron, okay? I mean, let's look at what we got. Cuomo, de Blasio, who really isn't Italian, and then you got that moron Fauci. I know he's a doctor, but he still plays that political game. I mean, this guy's fundamentally fucking wrong all the time, and yet people go, oh, he's so smart. Dude, if I was him and I was wrong like that all the time, I'd be fucking washing windows on the goddamn Cross Bronx Expressway with a little paper cup begging for change. All right? Okay? So, Italians cannot be politicians. There. You heard it here first. Listen, we've become more tech savvy. Okay? We know how to download any fucking movie we want, stream, whatever. We know the different platforms, all that shit. I mean, look at what we've accomplished with Zoom. I mean, you got 100-year-old people using Zoom, okay, so that their family members can watch them die in real time. Okay, so that's an accomplishment. We've become more tech savvy. The Wu flu helped the world get rid of a few more stupid people. Now, I mean, listen, not everybody who died from the coronavirus was a upstanding individual or contributed anything worthwhile to society. Some of them were just fucking, dead weight. So we cleared them out. And that probably helped out traffic a little bit for a while. There was a little time when everybody was on lockdown where you could go down the Southern State Parkway at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it was wide open. It was beautiful. Now, not so much. It taught us what a luxury wiping our asses was, okay? It showed us how much we take toilet paper for granted, truthfully. When the toilet paper shortage hit, I mean, people were frantic. Something you never thought of, right? Now when you look at toilet paper, it's like a revered product, okay? You relish every single wipe when you're taking a shit, okay? It helped us really appreciate our friends and loved ones, well, at least the ones we could stand, all that much more. Because that's really all we had as far as socialization goes. Whether it be a Zoom call, a FaceTime call, maybe you wave at them on the fucking opposite side of the street, made you appreciate it more. Okay, it also taught us who was real and who was full of shit in our lives, Okay? I mean, some people are fair with the friends, and some people, are there when the good days and bad days. So, that's a positive thing too. And those of us that didn't spend the last 11 months eating ourselves into a fucking coma, it challenged us to take on new hobbies. Okay, find new ways to entertain ourselves. Appreciate all the little things in life, like going to a restaurant or going to the gym, before Cuomo and de Blasio put them out of fucking business permanently. Okay? Now, I know 2020 was a shitty fucking year. Okay? And I honestly don't think 2021 is going to be that much better. Okay? But at some point, things will go back to some semblance of previous normality. But the world will be fundamentally changed. Okay? Because now we're going to have a new way of looking at things and appreciating things, if you're smart. If you're a fucking moron, then this is all lost on you. Okay? Problem is, we got way too comfortable. Okay? And then when a little shakeup happened, the tough stayed tough. We figured it out. And then, the wimps just completely fucking fell apart. So that's another one. It showed you who was fucking tough and who was a wimp. All right? And the lesson that we need to remember here is never get too comfortable. Okay? Because that makes you complacent. It makes you weak. All right? We all need a little shakeup every now and again. It's good for the soul. It lets you know you're still alive. And that way we can appreciate how good we all really have it. Okay? So as shitty as it was, 2020, I don't think it was all that bad. Okay? The tough got tougher. We stepped over the wimps, and we became better people for it. And the biggest gift, lest we forget, that 2020 has brought us is the fucking Friday wrap-up. Okay? So no matter what you're doing tonight, if you're hanging with friends and family, nice quiet little gathering, maybe you're going to a restaurant or a bar until about 9:30, maybe you're staying home, or maybe you're attending some New Year's Eve mutant jamboree, okay, in someone's house or in a restaurant or whatever the fuck you're doing, okay? Remember something. Remember a couple of things here. Wear your mask, okay? Wear your hazmat suit. Put a condom on even though you don't have any intention of taking your pants off. Stay 6 feet apart from everyone. Don't kiss anyone because you don't know where the fuck these mouth breathers have been. And at midnight, when the ball drops this year, I want you to look up at the sky. And I want you to thank your maker for the fucking Friday wrap-up. Because remember something. Uncle Tommy loves you. So, that's been your 2020 wrap-up. I'll see you when I see you. Happy New Year's, bitches, and I'll see you next year.